local manufacturer. I'll show you. This one I'll show you electronically the difference. Thank you. This is one of our local manufacturer, the BZ Carson. They are based in Kariobangi Light Industries. They produce imperial leather products. This one we have seized it at the powder, Namanga. We seized it in Namanga powder. And how to differentiate the fake one from the original one. The ones we have here are fake. And how to differentiate, you can see the original, how it looks. It doesn't have the square. And then this cushion, this small label is not also there. Secondly, when you open, you can open for me one. Yeah, when you open the fake one, you see the original one, this one will fade. As you use it, it will fade. It will fade in Asia. But the original one, it will stick until the soap itself finishes. Yes. Thank you. This one is part of also the stationery products. The owners, it's called the Stedler. They are based in Germany. However, we have our local distributors, authorized distributors. Now this one, it is counterfeit. And the reason is as follows. First and foremost, they don't produce or manufacture or package anything like this. They don't manufacture it this way. Again, when you see the original product Stedler, it has a crown, a white crown, like this one. It has, this one is silver, but it should be a white crown. Then when you hold it like this, it has a 8H or 6, it's an 8 octagonal. And then you see the combination, the black and the white combination and the red combination. This one is bold. It's not supposed to be like that. It should be all evenly uniform, distributed. This is also a famous product, Colgate. When you open, you can open for me one. These are fake. And the reason is the packaging. You can see the packaging first and foremost is not the way Colgate packages products. And again, as a consumer, the easiest way to identify is when you push it, the original one rolls itself. This one goes straight. The lines goes straight. But the original one, those combination of lines goes like as if it's spiraling. Yes. This is also, it's manufactured outside the country, but we have our local distributors. And this is fake. And the reason is the watermark. This 5 years warranty, it's a watermark. It's something when you tilt, you can see, you cannot see it as it is now. And the packaging also. This one is more, these are electronics, and this is an industry which is highly affected by the counterfeiters because of the versions related products. And the basic thing is Samsung, they don't manufacture their product and repackage them as it is, as you see it on the table. We seized this thing as naked as it is from the street. When you go again, you see how they package. This is also wrong. See the other marks. You can see there's other marks which are not related to Samsung. Like this one, the color is blue. This color, Samsung is blue, yes. This one, I'll also give you a good example, this one. Yeah, EMA, oh, you can see now. When you open again further, battery is different from NS is, and when you also send this EMI to communication authority, it might not give you the same gadget. It will give you a different gadget. Yeah, Samsung. I was telling you something on this. These are accessories which is also highly affected. you can see, first and foremost, they want to relate themselves to a conspicuous names by writing original, genuine. Samsung don't write something like that on their product. They write here, Samsung accessories, Tosha, like the way they have branded it down there. And then now entirely this one is fake. The logo, it should have logo. This one is also part of the product which are highly affected. It's also a techno products. And the packaging and all that, it's almost the same thing. We go straight to this place. This one now, yes. Yes. Thank you, Amira. You can set up. This one, I'll tell you it's about the. Yeah. Please, from there.
Yes.
It's not supposed to go like that.
Yes.
Inside should be a gold.
Yes. The cobra, the taps. These are the fake ones. You've just been shown the example of this part. Or it's coming out. It's not come out.
It's not come out easy.
And this is always metallic, not plastic. Yeah, you can see. Yes. Yeah. So you can see that. And this counterfeited so much. Then you have the. Yes, this one, a lot of it. Yes, this one and the pegler. It's because of construction. A lot of it is counterfeited. Then this one again. You can see the plugs. Yeah, the cords and doesn't have. And then you can see the packaging is Toyota. But then what you're getting inside is Denso, which is a totally different. Different.
55345, not 35.
Yeah. These are ball joint.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be?
It's supposed to be 55.
No,
555.
No, they say 35.
The trademark is 5 maratatu. Yes.
Oh, 555.
555. Yes. Now this one, now they say 35. Yes. They're very creative.
You can imagine the risk that we're putting in passengers.
Yes. And then this one is used a lot, especially with mechanics.
Yes.
And once again, if you look at this one, you will not even see the manufacturing. There's no watermark, like this one doesn't even have. Yes, these are fake watermark. This one doesn't have. You look at it, even the manufacturing date, expiry is not there. Things like that. Yes, this one receives a lot. Yes. Then the Toyota. These ones just come. These ones were seized at ICD, Inland Container Depot, the one at Embakasi. Now you can see there are two trademarks now. This one is elegant. Then there's this. Down is Toyota. Those ones were seized. Yes. Then HP. Yeah. Yeah, doesn't shake. Doesn't shake. And then there's always the water, the seal. It doesn't have. There's this one. There's a fake one. Yeah, you can even see. But basically, the original one, there's a way if you turn it, it moves. This one doesn't move. This one is just static. And then there are other features that are also there. Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Veronica. I'm currently the agent for Havel's brand in Kenya and Tanzania. What we have here is the counterfeit and the genuine. All our products are manufactured in India. We do not have factories in China. So what is mostly counterfeited is consumer boards and circuit breakers. We have other brands, but this is what is mainly counterfeited in China. So any product marked Havels that comes from China is totally counterfeit. We do not have factories. Very conspicuous feature that we always check and that which is subject, I can just disclose, it's not a trade secret, is a hologram. So anytime you go to the shop and find a hologram, the hologram is there. When you turn it, you can see the movement. You can see that it changes color. That's a very conspicuous feature. Another feature that is mostly counterfeited, they write made in India. So you might be deceived that it's actually from India. It's not from India. All our products have a hologram. That is a very conspicuous feature that we disclose to the public. Yes. And then for the consumer board, the sound, it's this is counterfeit, the material is substandard. What we use ours is good quality, and the finishing is matte. The counterfeited is white in color for the consumer boards, and ours is cream, and the gray is different. Another thing that is that we also disclose to the consumer is you'll always check there's a hologram on this label. Yes. Then when we started our brand protection activities, we realized that the Chinese started manufacturing what is Havels. So what they did is they replaced the H with a K. So if you find a market what is called Havels, also that is counterfeited, we also seize. Yes, I think this is what is mostly conspicuous. I think I've given what is...
The point I think what is important for us out there, you can see the complexity of identifying, what is counterfeit and what is genuine. Yes. And it's not any ordinary law enforcement officer or any member of public, unless they have this information, they are able to, to differentiate this. Hence the reason we keep on saying that this knowledge has to be built over time, through training with the brand owner representatives like Veronica here and the others. So it's not an ordinary information available to everybody. And hence the reason why this has to take a bit of time. And hence we keep on insisting our presence, our continued presence at the ports. Because that is where the volumes are coming through. The Canadian port, and so on and so forth. Yes.
So we are not there. Let's say we don't understand.
Yes, you would not understand. Even the law enforcement officers may not understand this.
And for you to arise, other than intelligence, what do you use? Instinct.
No. It's experience. Experience. A lot of these officers, the bullets, these are 10 years. People have put 10 years in learning about this. Then with regular trainings, of course, from the brand owners on the brand knowledge of their product, like what Veronica has just explained. You'll only get that if you get those exposure.
Okay.
So I think this is critical, of course, moving forward, as we even work on, on the multi-agency approach to dealing with the problem.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why you're arguing the other time about your presence at the port.
It is very, very important. Alternatively, unless they allow us to train, you can see it's ongoing.
Yes.
You can tell you how many versions of this there are. It's ongoing exercise.
The moment you discover this Havels, they'll put something else.
So, sir, let me just try to explain about the importance of having the officers at the port of entry and at the port. Most of these goods, I remember trying to approach KEBS, and the role of KEBS is all about standardization. We have had situations where even counterfeits have very good standards, and now the role is really limited to standardization. Okay, they check the standard. If it's up to standard, then of course they cannot seize goods that are counterfeit. Their role is basically limited. Yes. So we are advocating and we are requesting that if the officers can be at least allocated back to the port of entry, they'll really be of assistance. Most of these officers are cooperative. They understand. They share with us information. We have been prosecuting matters. They have seized most of my goods last year. Millions and millions of goods have been seized at the port. Some are lying at the ICD, some are in Mombasa. Their role is very crucial. Unlike targeting the market, let me explain about targeting goods at the market. Counterfeiters are criminals. So when you go to the markets, they either retaliate, they beat you, they fight you. They don't deserve such. If they're given a humble working atmosphere like at the port of entry, it's easy for us even to be able to seize goods and coordinate all this coordination. It's easier.
And neither do they display all their goods.
Yes.
Display 10 to
Because what I know about KEBS, as you said, is standards.
Yes.
this will be checked whether it can perform its function.
Yes.
At the end of the counterfeit can still perform
Exactly.
whatever it's expected. And we mainly rely on the inspectors outside, other than here just counterfeit, especially where the inspection is done at the port of export. That is it. I think it's a point well taken. We will advise on that.
Havels is very keen on that, and we really advocate that we really assist, because I think Nyamakema has been, it's flooded and approaching there is very difficult. So I think if you assist for the goods to be seized at the port of entry, at the ports, it will be very great.
70% of the problem then is gone.
Yeah, because China, most is shipping, it's cheaper to do shipping, and like air.
It's easy to get them at the point of entry.
Yeah, they're going to the market.
Because the moment they're in the market, they will come in small,
Yeah, small portions,
small
because
portions, and this may not really match the business
Sometimes
side.
it becomes you are chasing out goods you don't know.
and also deterrent. I think these distributors and importers have become big-headed in terms of, they want to control the monopoly. Thank you. Mulipekeza. Yes, so these are the officers.
When I can use this one?
And there's mic at the podium. I want to use it around here.
Thank you, our chief guest, Bwana CS, for planting that tree, a symbol of we care for the environment. We are aware that in destruction, incineration, we affect the environment. Madam Chair there, also planting a tree. And this is a tradition that at ACA we have taken up, that anytime we incinerate, we also leave many, many trees, seedlings behind us growing. Thank you so much. Where is that watering cylinder? The watering can, where is it? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So let's appreciate Madam Chair. Thank you so much. And I think this time we'll label the two specifically so that next time you come, you can identify it easily. And now we can take our seats. Kindly let us take our seats for those who are still going through the exhibitions. Our guests, kindly let's all take our seats. We shall continue with the exhibitions, they will still be running, even as we proceed with the incineration. And therefore, I request that we kindly take our seats. And now we can begin our ceremony in a more formal way. I wish to call upon Elijah Ruto to come and open for us with a word of prayer. Ruto, please.
Thank you, Agnes. I'll request that we remove our capes and we pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you. We worship your name, dear Father, because of this great morning you have given us. We thank you, Lord, for your love and mercies. Thank you for being gracious to us and enabling us even to gather in this place, dear God. My dear Father, as a nation, my dear God, we want to thank you and we bless your name because of taking good care of us, for blessing us, even in this time of this pandemic, my dear Father. Lord, we pray that you may continue being with us, protecting us. Help us, my dear Father, even to overcome whatever is happening across the globe, my dear Father, and even in our nation, dear God. May you help us, my dear Father, even as an authority, anti-counterfeit authority. We thank you for this function you've given us. We thank you for this distraction exercise. Lord, we ask for your leadership, dear God. We pray that you are going to guide us, take us through this function, my dear Father, and that it shall come to be successful, dear God. We remember our guests who have come visiting, my dear Father, and even witnessing this occasion, my dear God. We thank you for them. We pray that you may bless them and guide them, my dear Father. May you bless all of us. May you guide us and lead us. Be with us to the end of it all. For we pray this, my dear Father, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
And now, before we get into the next part of our program, we are here for the love of our country, and therefore I request that we all stand and get to sing the national anthem, and we shall be led by the DJ. We may take our seats. Our chief guest, the CAS, representing the CS, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I wish to call upon, at this juncture, the Executive Director for Anti-Counterfeit Authority to come and give the welcome remarks and invite the guests that will follow in speaking after him. Mr. Elema Halake. Let's appreciate him as he takes the stage. And as he comes, I wish to assure all the speakers we have taken seriously the issue of the directives and our safety, and therefore we'll keep changing the mics. You won't need to use one mic, 2 people at the same time. Thank you.
The CAS, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Enterprise Development, Mr. Karanja, the Chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Board of Directors, Madam Flora Mutai, representative of the PS Trade, Director Onyancha, who is also a Board of Director at ACA, the Acting CEO, Epz-A, Bwana Obino, colleagues who are representing different government institutions present, the representative of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, distinguished IPR holders who are present today, and all colleagues who are here, and the members of the Fourth Estate who are covering this event today, good morning. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this important event. But before I make my welcoming remarks, I want to recognize the support of the Epz-A who are here, and I want to quickly invite the acting CEO, who is the host on this ground, to be able to make a short welcoming remark. Karibu Bwana Obino.
Thank you, CEO. Our chief guest, the CAS, the chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, the board directors for the ACA, colleague directors and managing directors of bodies in the ministry, the representatives of the various bodies, including Kenya Association of Manufacturers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate. Mine is really very simple. As we have been told, my name is Henry Obino. I'm the acting CEO of the Epz-A. With me, I came with some 2 officers, some 2 or 3 officers. Wherever you are, please raise your hands so that people can appreciate you. Because of the times, we would not have come a big team because of the few slots that we have all to share. But I want to appreciate that this function is a unique and commendable function in that we are protecting the manufacturing sector. And also we are protecting our people in ensuring that they buy genuine goods. Looking at the display here that we have been taken through, one gets surprised that the items that we casually buy are all counterfeited. And I wish to commend the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for the work they are doing. I'm sure going forward, they are going to find many public fora to take education to the people so that people get to understand what is genuine and what is counterfeit. So for today, I want to assure you of our continued support. Epz-A is about manufacturing and giving an enabling environment for manufacturing to take place, both for export, mainly for export, and a little for local market. So we want to ensure that the manufacturers that are in Epz-A and also the ones out there are given a good opportunity to trade by ensuring that we kill counterfeits. So I want to assure you of our support, and I want to thank Envirosafe Limited for offering this facility for use in this function. So feel most welcome, and let us all work together in ensuring that we have a counterfeit-free environment and market. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the acting Epz-A CEO. I now, with the permission of the chief guest, I request to invite my colleagues who are members of the multi-agency who are represented here today, the multi-agency against illicit trade, to kindly, quickly come up here. The representative of KEBS, KRA, and all the other members who are here, please come forward very quickly such that we can recognize you and your institutions here. So first coming up is the representative of KEBS, and I request that he introduces himself because they are key partners for our institution and for what we are going to do today.
I think it's good morning. My name is Peter Kaigwara, Director Market Surveillance. The Managing Director gave an apology, so I'm representing him. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is from KRA.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Moredi, representing Deputy Commissioner, Border Control and Enforcement.
Okay, thank you very much. I know that Director Onyancha, who is Director Weights and Measures, is also part of our members of the multi-agency. I know the National Police Service, who are represented here by officers, are also members of the multi-agency against illicit trade. And of course, the chair, Bwana Wanyama Musiambo, who we are also expecting to join us shortly. So Chief Gates, on that note, allow me to make just very short remarks to welcome and set a tone for today's distraction. Let me begin by saying that there is a lot of significance of us holding this event regularly on an annual basis on this ground, as the acting CEO, Epz-A, mentioned, because this is a hub of manufacturing. Of course, the major component of it is, of course, for export. But as you know, in this COVID pandemic times, we are aware that there is a lot of manufacturing of the PPEs, the personal protective equipments, which are also done here. And therefore, it brings a lot of significance that we are here on this ground to destroy what is illicit, what is counterfeit, to guarantee and show our support for the local manufacturing. I want to express a lot of appreciation to Epz-A, as already mentioned, the ministry through the CAS represented here, of course, and the other collaborators in the war against illicit and counterfeit. Let me also say that today's event we are marking as build-up to an important upcoming event which will be coming up on 10th of this month at KICC, where we are going to mark the World Anti-Counterfeit Day. So this is just a precursor of the major activities which have been lined up in the coming days and particularly in this month. So I want to take this opportunity to, of course, welcome you and prepare you for the events which are lined up later in the course of the month. Now, you may ask yourself why we have this event at this point in time, particularly when we are going to, going through this reality of the COVID-19. I think, as you may have seen, clearly out there, part of what we are handling has a lot of connection and bearing on what we are currently doing as a country in the fight against COVID. What you will see there is that we have counterfeit face masks, sanitizers, we have counterfeit pharmaceuticals, as you may see. These are part of our contribution as the Anti-Counterfeit Authority to ensure that Kenyans, as we fight against this COVID-19, that we do it with genuine products. Because if we use products which are not genuine, they are counterfeits, they are fake, they will not serve the purpose. So this is a show of commitment from the authority that as ACA and indeed as government, we are pushing on this agenda from all fronts, both in terms of ensuring that we get quality and genuine products into the market to deal with the current pandemic, but also more importantly, as we prepare our country, to pick up in terms of business, we are all very anxious and very enthusiastic to see what is going to come up in the course of probably this week and in the coming week. And as we prepare the country to open up in terms of business, government is prepared through the Anti-Counterfeit Authority to ensure that we keep off counterfeits off from our borders. And this is the commitment we are giving as an authority, that government is prepared through the Anti-Counterfeit Authority to ensure that as we open up businesses, we will encourage clean business and business which is licit, is not illicit, and therefore we call upon all the members of the public, of course the public, to be aware that we remain vigilant on this cause. I think on that note, Chief Guest, allow me now to take this opportunity to welcome the Chair of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Board, Madam Flora Mutai, who is going to make the welcoming remarks and welcome the next speakers. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for the Chair. Thank you.
At least you saw me approaching with a mask. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our CAS, Mr. Karanja, representing Madam CS of Industry and Trade, Betty Minor, Deputy Head of Public Service, who is on the way, the Acting CEO of Epz-A, Mr. Obino, our ED, Mr. Halake, government representatives of government agencies, private sector, my fellow directors, good morning again. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Board of Directors to welcome everyone to this event. Those of you who have come personally, and also those of you who are following live what is happening. Before we have an accident here, let me continue to hold my own mic. Of course, we're in there must be a mic on somewhere. We're in unprecedented times of COVID. And I would like to thank also the ACA staff for actually organizing this annual function. We have it every year, usually very, very colorful and very full. But I guess this is the new norm, and we need to get used to actually working in this manner. Our appreciation also to the State Department of Trade, who have worked closely with us through this, working on counterfeit. We have a rich history with also our partners here, the KEBS, the private sector led by the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, Weights and Measures, and really generally the multi-agency. In fact, if we could say anything, we achieved a lot working together. And they always say communal. When you collaborate, you achieve way more than when you work on your own. So of course, as the counterfeit agency, we're very aware of the role that we play towards creating an enabling environment for growth of the manufacturing sector. promoting fair trade practices, and basically to achieve the Big Four agenda. We are aware that one of the biggest threats towards realizing this Big Four agenda and the long-term development blueprint of Kenya, the Vision 2030, is actually counterfeiting. In manufacturing, what we do is we prevent manufacturers from counterfeiting of their brands and loss of their market share. Like you've seen, a lot of the goods here some are made in Kenya, and there's no point having an investor investing heavily in an industry and then allowing counterfeiters to come and take that market. So on food security, we fight fake agro inputs. You just saw fertilizer there that is fake. What does that do to the farmer? Well, first of all, it takes away his profit, it wastes a lot of his time, and it also threatens our food security. On universal healthcare, we enforce IP infringement and encourage innovation while protecting consumers. I mean, during this pandemic, it's unbelievable that people will say, let me make a shilling. And from the fake counterfeit masks we saw, and what was interesting when the CAS was looking at them, the actual counterfeited one was more attractive than the other one. So counterfeiters are really not people who are asleep. They are people who work hard to try and dupe the public. And this is why we always ask people to be very, very aware of what is going on, of the goods that actually pass our hands. Otherwise, our job is to see whether we can seize it and take it out of the market. On affordable housing, you saw goods there, cables, we saw electrical equipment. What does this do? It puts a lot of risk, again, to these people who are putting up those houses. Electricals, you can imagine burning houses. We saw cars. We saw cars, ball joints, and the like. What danger are we putting? So are we sure that the accidents that are happening on the streets are really careless driving or drunk driving, or is it really counterfeit goods? So as one of the frontline government agencies in this war, we have put in place solid measures to combat the vice, which includes intensified surveillance and inspection and seizures across all major towns and entry points within the country. To date, we have actually seized counterfeit goods to the tune of 3 billion shillings. In the last 5 years, we've actually destroyed counterfeit goods worth 1.4 billion. We've prosecuted over 360 cases in court. We've destroyed goods of 27 million, and I think we are going to, today we are actually going to destroy 27 million. And we have other goods worth 100 billion ready for destruction in Mombasa, something we were actually just about to do before this breakout, and 10 billion across the country. We have also intensified public awareness. Counterfeit, I think everybody knows the word counterfeit. It's now to educate them how to differentiate between a non-counterfeit and counterfeit product. But we have a lot of programs such as open forums, media campaigns, and exhibitions. We have enhanced training and capacity building for law enforcement agencies, for the judiciary, because a lot of these cases find themselves in court, and other stakeholders, reaching over 360 police officers who actually have the designated mandate to support it, and 220 magistrates and judges over 10 counties, security committee sensitization and awareness forums across the country. In order to inform policy and data, we actually have spent a lot of time using, getting data. We actually have ready now a national baseline study to the extent, showing us the extent of counterfeit and other forms of illicit trade. The project financed through the Trademark East Africa will be launched on the 10th of June, which is next week, when we commemorate our World Anti-Counterfeit Day. We play a leading role in the multi-agency enforcement and public awareness and outreach program, which they call MITO, on illicit trade, that is coordinated by Mr. Wanyama Musiambo and the State Department of Trade, who are both, some are here and some are on the way. The way forward in this war rests on the multi-agency approach, which is the basis that the authority will continue to support this endeavor and ensure full implementation of the National Action Plan to combat illicit trade together with other stakeholders. Internally, we have initiated strategic reforms to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of enforcement programs. We're in the process of implementing an intellectual property recordation and full automation of our operations. We're actually 70% there, meaning that now you can actually, you'll be able to actually record a counterfeit in the comfort of your own office. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority Integrated Management System for key processes will also be used for case filing, prosecution, and managing our depots. This aim is expected to enhance our efficiency in management and processing IPR cases. For instance, brand owners will be able to file, like I said, their cases online without having to visit our offices, which has actually come at a very opportune time. It will also enable brand owners and other stakeholders to follow the progress of their cases from filing or adjudication by our courts. The system will also empower consumers to easily identify counterfeit goods before purchase through the mark of genuine, which is being developed to incorporate additional features from other government enforcement agencies. This will be an integrated stamp under the coordination of the Ministry of Interior and will be fixed on products that will incorporate features from other government agencies such as KEBS and KRA. Because our intention is actually to put the power in the consumer's hands. If a consumer can look and see this stamp is there, present or not, then it is very easy for the consumer to know what is counterfeited. As I conclude, this year marks 10 years since the ACA came into force, and we'll be finding ourselves, unfortunately, meeting under these extraordinary and unprecedented times, but we shall be celebrating our 10-year anniversary. It is disturbing, however, to announce that in the last 3 months, our inspectors have netted COVID-19 pandemic consumer-related goods worth 30 million. These include face masks, testing kits, and sanitizers. It is actually immoral, shameful, and actually unacceptable for some unscrupulous traders to take advantage of this pandemic and offer for sale counterfeit goods. We can't fight this war that we are hardly seeing with counterfeit goods. We are committed to stop them in their deeds. The law must, of course, take its course. Finally, I want to pass the message that by destroying these counterfeit goods, we're not necessarily being anti-business. Our objective is to promote legitimate, fair trade practices and support the economic growth and prosperity of our nation, which you so well know that we need. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's put our hands for the chair. Thank you very much, Madam Flora. Madam Flora, of course, is a veteran in this industry, being, of course, a manufacturer herself, and of course, having led the manufacturing, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers for many, many, many years. So thank you very much for all the support, Madam Flora. You've given the authority and the visibility we've gotten since you joined the ACA board. Allow me, Chief Guest, now to invite the representative of the PS Trade, who is is yet to become a doctor, but is doing his PhD. That is Bwana Onyancha, who is Director Weights and Measure, and also representing the PS today in this forum. Let's put our hands for Bwana Onyancha. Thank you, Bwana Onyancha.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arake. I want to take this opportunity. First and foremost, I want to thank our chief guest, Mr. Karanja, Madam Chair, Mr. Henry Obino, who is the host, and also my colleagues from the ministry. I can also say also the members of the Fourth Estate. Good morning. Let's say good morning. Even if you are wearing masks, let's just say hi. Okay, thank you very much, Bwana Arake, for inviting me to come here and give a speech from my principal secretary, Joseph Weweru. I also want to say that I'm also wearing another hat because at the moment I'm the Director of Weights and Measures. Weights and Measures is part of the multi-agency that has been accepted and has been empowered to fight what we call illicit trade. As you are aware, weights and measures, we call it from that's what we call the layman's language, but we are calling ourselves, we are called legal metrology. What's metrology? Metrology is science of measurements. So whatever we do is measurements. So we are here to ensure that whatever kind of business we are doing, the business we are doing, they must be compliant. That's why the government, through His Excellence, made sure that it was 2018 that this issue of counterfeiting actually is even worse than COVID-19. As Madam Chair was alluding to earlier, we realized that counterfeiting causes some trillions of money in terms of those illicit trade. Can you imagine how it affects how many kind of employment that you are losing? How many businesses are closing down because of counterfeiting? Actually, it should be a concerted effort of each and every individual to ensure that we promote genuine business. As we were talking with Mr. Karanja here, our industries have closed down because of what? Because of counterfeiting. As we were going around there, we saw that things can come from China without even with Chinese names, surely. The law requires that when you import something, the name and address of the importer must be there. The law states clearly that we are not supposed, when you want from the other country, you must interpret what is this. Because today, it's not my day, because it's a day, let me, as a messenger, I will just read, as you are saying that in the academic world, I will just be like a pipe. Just passing, I just want to pass the water. I hope that now, as a pipe, I'm not going to leak. If I leak, I would be, even according to tell me that I was adding something, which is what we call plagiarism in academic world. I don't want to be doing that one. So let me just read the speech of our PS trade. Let me start. It is this way. The cabinet secretary, but now I think now is the chief administrative secretary, Mr. Karanja. The deputy head of public service, I hope is coming, Mr. Musiambo. The chair of ACA, Madam Flora. The executive director, ACA, Mr. Arake. The acting CEO, Epz-A, Envirosafe. Members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. First, I want to appreciate our chief guests, Minister of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprises Development, Madam Beth Maina, who is now represented by Mr. Karanja, and all of you for being with us here today for the destruction event of counterfeit goods. I want also to appreciate the whole team from government agencies represented here, as well as private sector, for the cooperation that has led to the determination that these goods are counterfeit. The investigating officers, the prosecutors, the witnesses, the judiciary, our airport magistrates, and all those who are involved until this stage. You have demonstrated an act of responsibility that needs to be appreciated. Most of the time, we take counterfeit trade or illicit trade as a government problem. But when we individually suffer from the economic, health, safety consequences, that is when we realize that we are all victims. Right from manufacturers, consumers, and the government, we are all victims of this illicit trade. if you have to look at the destruction of these goods, you will feel disturbed. Most of them are of poor quality, meaning they have no value to the consumer. Some of them can cause dangers and result to health, safety issues to our people. As you saw, the electric cables, circuit breakers, among others. Moreover, they reduce the market share of our manufacturers, also leading to job cuts and increased unemployment. Farmers across the country are also affected as they are victims of counterfeit seeds, agrochemicals, farm implements, fertilizers, just to name a few. The genuine small-scale farmers, even those who are the large-scale distributors and traders in various parts of the country, are no exception, since they are undercut by these unscrupulous traders dealing with these cheap and poor quality goods. What's the government efforts? Ladies and gentlemen, all our efforts in the government are now geared towards delivery of the development agenda under the big 4 pillars of manufacturing, affordable housing, health care for all, and food security. Our actions are geared towards providing low-cost houses, universal health care, increased exports, and growing our industries, irrigating millions of acres of land for food security, food security, creating new jobs to our people, and establishing industrial zones, among others. We cannot achieve these big 4 pillars if we cannot fix the trade in counterfeit goods, as well as promote fair trade practices in the country. I'm aware that during this time, when we are confronted with a global problem of COVID-19 pandemic, unscrupulous business people are busy taking advantage of this situation to sell counterfeit goods. Okay, as an example, you saw what was happening here, the masks. I'm gratified by the efforts put in place by various government agencies to tame this behavior by some of these unscrupulous traders, as well as to the Kenyans. I want to particularly assure our manufacturers, investors, and Kenyans that the government has a strategic agenda and plans for combating counterfeiting trade. I'm happy of the progress in the implementation of the National Action Plan for combating illicit trade. I want to appreciate my colleagues, Mr. Wanyama Musiambo, the Deputy Head of Public Service, who was appointed by His Excellency the President to coordinate a multi-agency enforcement team against illicit trade. I believe we'll continue to work together towards full implementation of the National Action Plan to combat illicit trade. The challenges. Most of you might have noticed that collaborative efforts and increased effectiveness of government agencies in detecting and counterfeiting illicit trade of goods. Most of you may not have aware of the current challenges arising from these increased enforcement efforts. The challenge of the storage and environmentally sound disposal of increased quantities of confiscated goods has brought a major logistical and environmental challenges for government agencies. The storage and disposal is costly and technically complex. Minimizing the environmental impact of disposal requires specialized facilities, expertise, and high level of stakeholders' participation. I'm aware of fluorescent bulbs at the counterfeit depot that needs specialized destruction facility as per the NEMA rules. We need to work together with the private sector to get innovative and cost-effective solutions to tackle these emerging issues of storage and destruction. The way forward. Today, we are here at Athi River to destroy seized counterfeit goods. Destruction activities will go around the country. The message should be clear to anyone involved in illicit trade. The government will not. The government will deal firmly with anyone without consideration of his or her social status, class, or another diversity. And finally, by installating these goods, it's my hope that we are sending the right message to our investors. Kenya is your destination of choice for investment. We also want to send a strong warning to the economic saboteurs that we will not relent nor condone any form of illicit trade in this country. That's a message by Johnson Weru. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Let us put our hands once again for Director Onyancha representing the PS Trade, Bwana Weru. I now welcome back the chair to do the honorary work of welcoming the chief guest.
I would like to welcome now our chief guest who graced our occasion, the CAS for Ministry of Industrialization and Trade. These are partners we've worked with for a very long time, very close partners of ours. And we would just like to welcome and hear a few words from him. Of course, the same.
If you don't mind, why don't we get Wanyama, walk up here, then we consult who can speak before.
Okay.
He's supposed to be at the end. Okay. Just recognize he's coming in.
As you can see, yule mgeni tulikuwa nagojea amefika. Bwana Musiambo, punishment for you is you come to the front of the class.
Anything you say.
All right. Let us brief the naughty student and just let him where we are at in our program. So, Bwana Musiambo, we first began with tea and coffee, the other side, and we were received by the acting CEO. Maybe he can stand up, Dr. Obino. This is, of course, where we are, of the Epz-A. From there, then we came here, and we've listened to several speeches, of course, beginning with our own ED telling us what we have achieved in ACA. You remember we come here annually. Yes, we've come here before twice, like you're letting me know. Incidentally, I have regrets from Kanini Kega. He said he had he actually, sorry, I forgot to mention, he said he has an urgent agenda, but he's with us. He has never missed, and for you also, thank you for coming. So the ED has just been telling us what we've been doing. Today we are going to ban goods of 27 million. I think in total that brings to 30B? Yes. No, 3B. 3B, all the goods that we have seized. But as you are coming, we were just lamenting that the whole multi-agency thing has been very, very useful. And we would like to appeal to you to keep us on that multi-agency. When we approach as a multi-agency, I think we are receiving way better results than when we have the people, individual going separately. And I must say to me, slow down, kidogo, let us put that impetus. Unfortunately, some of the goods we've seen there are actually COVID items, you know, the sanitizers, the masks. You know, people have the audacity to do this. It shows you how unscrupulous that the traders are. So this is a fight that is not definitely going to end in a hurry. We have sanitizers, we have masks, and what was interesting, I must say, when we was looking at the masks, the counterfeit mask looks more attractive than the non-counterfeit, as usual, because counterfeiters are businessmen and they're trying to attract the consumer. So And yes, there's some drugs there that have been brought in non-labeled. We are not necessarily sure what they are. Oh, there's the hydrochlor, whatever. There's that drug that Trump had told us would cure COVID. That one too is there. So for us, we're just saying as ACA, the fight continues. As usual, electricals, which is usually one of the biggest areas that we get counterfeited. They're there, Haveli, construction material as usual. And you can see the risk that we are putting our consumer to. So I think, if I'm not wrong, I have summarized basically what we've done. So from here, of course, we will go and incinerate like we normally do, and maybe a few more just meetings with the members of the Fourth Estate. So I don't know if you tell us if you're ready. Okay, so kindly address us. And then the CAS will give us his final remarks.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, for giving me this opportunity. Our guest of honor, who is our Chief Administrative Secretary, my brother, thank you so much. Colleagues in government, private sector, members of the Fourth Estate, let me start, guest of honor. Let me start, guest of honor, by profusely apologizing for coming in late. It is not my nature to do so. Those of us who've worked together, you know it. But as you also know, right now, we have a lot of activities. Of course, we have always had a lot of activities, but again, with the situation we are in, we have again a lot of activities here and there. So this morning, guest of honor, I was assigned or given an assignment that I was to accomplish by 11. And since I had been assigned to do that, it is an assignment that I could not also delegate because I had been assigned and I had to accomplish the task, Madam Chair, and report back that indeed I had accomplished the task. So that's what I've been doing since morning. And that's why I've come late. So I sincerely seek for your indulgence. You forgive me for coming in late. And on the same note, I want to thank you because as I was coming, I even told the director, I called him and I told him that it's better late than never. Actually, I knew the whole process you had finished. But I said, even if I'm late, let me just come and see the moshi. Ile moshi vitu vimechomeka. So, but I'm lucky that I've been able to find you people and now joining you. Guest of honor, Madam Chair, Executive Director, and the rest of us, ladies and gentlemen, I will not have a speech as such to make, a long speech, because you've been here and I don't want to drag the time. But I just want to mention that first and foremost, I want to appreciate our chief guest for finding time to be able to be here with us. And my brother, I think we've met katika pilika zetu za kazi huko Nakuru wapi, na mimi nashukuru. This morning I was talking to Madam CS, Madam Petty Minor, and I was just extending the same to say I'll be late because of what I was doing. So, guest of honor, I want to thank you sincerely for finding time to be able to be with us today. Secondly, I want to mention that the whole question of the multi-agency, as Madam you have rightly said, that is what will take us to be able to clear this menace in this country. The multi-agency guest of honor gives us the impetus to move faster, because then it kills all the bureaucracies that we may have, so that I say this is my area, my act says this, I cannot do the other. It brings all of us together and it enables us to make very quick decisions in terms of seizures, in terms of rates, in terms of actions like the ones we are doing, destruction, even in terms of litigation, when we have to take people to court. And indeed, that is the path we will have to go. For the last 2 years, from 2018 to date, we have seen the benefits of the multi-agency team. We all know that we have been able to destroy these items in several places. And the first time the destruction took place, we want to thank His Excellency the President. We came to this same place, the other side of the road, and His Excellency the President led the country in destroying what we had assembled on that day. And from that day, after the President set us on in terms of destruction, we have been able to continue doing the same. I do know, like Director and Madam would say, we will attest, we have been to this place, I think this is the third time, this particular place. And we want to thank the MD and his team because they have always given us this facility. This is the third time we are here. We have been to Eldoret. We've done it there. Just the other day, when we were all headed to Mombasa to do exactly the same, because we have assembled there, Executive Director, if I'm not wrong, we have assembled goods in Mombasa as a multi-agency and as a counterfeit worth over 100 million, if I'm not wrong. 100 million in Mombasa. We are waiting to do exactly the same. But when we were just about to move, then we got the challenge of the COVID-19 and the challenges coming around that place, that we put it on hold. But going forward, after this one, we have lined up that Mombasa one that we didn't do, and we also have Eldoret, that we are still going back to Eldoret again to be able to do the same destruction. So, this is a war that we must win. This is a war that we must win, and we are staying the course. We are not moving out of it. And I just want, I can see my brother from Weights and Measures. I know they were all introduced, but those of us who are here, just by show of whatever, we can just be upstanding. And then you see that the members of the multi-agency team who are present, because here we have a whole team. We have a whole team of members. We have KRA, we have counterfeit, we have Weights and Measures, we have the police, we police, the uniformed, and then the DCI, we have immigration, we have a whole team. We have NACADA, NEMA, we have all of us, and that has been able to help us move forward. Guest of honor, I just want to conclude and to say this. Na pengine hii nitasema kwa Kiswahili. Ya kwamba mambo ya counterfeit ni ufisadi mkubwa. This is corruption. And as you know, that is one aspect. Ama kuna jambo ambalo sasa serikali inapigana nalo kubwa, janga kubwa, ni mambo ya ufisadi. Kama leo hii, wale mumetangulia, mumeona vifaa hizi mbili, people take advantage of things where you are not supposed even to play about with. Watu wanachezea maisha. Ukiangalia hii, unaona these are masks, face masks. Hata wakati huu, wakati tuko na janga la COVID-19, bado kuna wale walagai wanataka kuchezea maisha ya Wakenya, wanaenda wanatengeneza hizi vifaa, sinaita barakoa. Sasa unakuta kuna ile si genuine na kuna ile genuine. Na yote wameandika, ukiangalia maandishi yote wanakueleza. Sasa ukiwa wewe mwananchi wa kawaida unaingia dukani ama popote pale, kweli unaweza tofautisha hizi mbili ukajua gani ndio mzuri na gani ndio mbaya, kwa sababu yote imeandikwa. Kama kuna mahali ya warning umeambiwa this respirator helps to protect against certain particles and blah blah blah. The same words are put here. The respirator helps you protect against certain particles. So you read. Is only wataalamu ndio wataelewa, wajue kweli hii nimeshika kwa mkono wangu wa kulia, hii ndio halali, hii ingine ni bandia. Lakini zote zikiwa dukani ama zikiwa pahali panauzia, hakuna mtu atajua. Ukiangalia, ukitazama with the naked eyes, hakuna wakati utajua ya kwamba watu wanatake advantage of even this dire situation of COVID that is a global pandemic. But somebody wants to make quick money from the same. Watu wameenda dukani, wameweka madawa. Ukienda hapo wanakuambia pana, we meza hii tu. Hii yote inaitwa COVID tablets. Hii sachet imejaa madawa na hii yote ni bandia. Hii yote ni bandia. So you can see the length that some unscrupulous Kenyans can go, guest of honor, to do these funny things. And that's why I was saying, counterfeiting ni ufisadi. From the national government and the whole government up to county government, corruption ni janga, lazima tutaendelea kupigana nalo bila uoga, bila upendeleo, bila kuangalia nyuma, bila kuangalia kando, ni kuenda mbele na kupigana na wafisadi. Na sisi tukiwa Madam Chair kama multi-agency, I want to assure you that we are on course. Na tutabaki on course. We will remain on course. Kwa mambo ya kuweka watu pamoja katika ile spirit ya multi-agency, kuhakikisha tunaharakisha mambo haya. Tunajua tumekuwa na challenges also. Sometimes we have done things na unakuta watu wanakimbia kotini. Lakini kwa sababu Kenya ni nchi ambayo tunaheshimu rule of law. So sometimes when people go to court, we say, okay, fine, let's wait and see. And then we go through the court cases. In fact, that has been the biggest challenge ambayo tumekuwa nayo kubwa, ya kwamba iko wale wengine wanaenda kotini, tunawaachilia, tunaenda kotini, tukimalizana na mambo kotini, tunaendelea. Na tuna vitu chungu nzima. Hata leo asubuhi hii tulikuwa tunashare, and I think Madam Chair will see continue, we have shared with the CS, Madam Betty, the guest of honor, ya kwamba kuna zile tumeweka kwa stores, zile tunaenda kudestroy. Quite a number of them, the court cases are now over. And that has been our biggest stumbling block. But we are not complaining that people went to court. We are simply saying that going to court also slowed the process of destruction. But we appreciate, because we are in a country that respects the rule of law. If somebody goes to court, we say, yes, fine, let's wait and see. But in all the cases that people have gone to court, we have always proved to be on the right side of the law. There is nowhere where we have done things ya kuingilia mali ya mtu, kuchafua mali ya mtu, kuharibu bila kuzingatia na kufuata sheria. Kwa hivyo yangu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba tutaendelea kufanya vile tulifanya. Wale agencies za government ambazo tuko kwa multi-agency team tunachijua. We are over 10, still around 13 agencies. We moving shortly, just ahead kidogo tu, we are going now to reconvene and start again hitting the way we have been hitting. And now this time we are going to do it twin. Kuna ile tunaendelea vile tulikuwa tunafanya na massive destruction of all those areas ambazo court cases sasa zimeisha, and there are quite a number of them ambazo cases zimeisha. Sasa kazi yetu ni sasa ni kuendelea kuharibu ama kudestroy ama kuchoma. Ya mwisho, hata tukiwa tunafanya hivi, guest of honor na Madam Chair, ni kwamba mbali na hizi sehemu kama ya Northeastern tumeona pia kuna vitu vinaingia, na hasa vitu vingi ni sukari, na hii sukari inaingia ambayo ni sukari bandia, inatoka kwa nchi jirani inaingia kwetu. Nataka nichukue nafasi hii nishukuru kwanza security team ya Northeastern region, regional commissioner huko na watu wake wa usalama, police commander wa region na wengine hadi kwa county na kwa sub county, because tulikubaliana ya kwamba sasa ile vitu tunapata kutoka kwingine kwa majirani na ingia kwetu through the porous border, those are the things ambazo zinasaidia hata kwa mambo ya terrorism, smuggled sugar and the other assorted items, the contrabands, inatumika na wakora to finance the activities. Na tumekubaliana ya kwamba we are not going to keep such items in a store to wait for court cases. And because of that, teams za huko ya Northeastern, they are under firm instructions. Ile yoyote wanapata contraband goods entering our country from our neighbors, they destroy instantly. And therefore, that is the standing instruction. And now, for some time, that is what they have been doing. And going forward, we have been sending that message very clearly, so that whoever does that, because they bring sugar from some places where you know there is even no sugar plantation, from some places where you know there is even no sugar factory, but you see sugar coming from that direction. We are saying we are not going to be bogged down with the litigation. Ati tumeshika, ati tumeweka, na mwenyewe ukishashika ametoroka, hata amefuka mpaka ameenda the other side. Sasa utamungoja paka siku gani ndio muanzane na court cases? So the instructions are, once they get such and they are on the lookout, kufunga all panya routes, to be on the lookout on the panya routes. Wakipata hizo, they destroy immediately and they submit the reports, and that is what they have been doing. So with those many remarks, I want to say thank you so much for this occasion. Nimshukuru Bwana Halake na timu yake kwa kuhakikisha, na board ya madam kwa kuhakikisha siku ya leo inafana vile imefana siku ya leo. Kwa unyenyekevu kabisa, nichukue nafasi hii basi niweze kumkaribisha mgeni wetu rasmi, our guest of honor, to be able now to make his remarks and then lead us in the destruction of the counterfeit goods that we have here that are worth 27 million, as we have been told. Guest of honor, karibu my brother.
This a fake one. That's a fake one.
There's another one there.
Thank you. The Deputy Head of Public Service and the Coordinator of the multi-agency, Mr. Wanyama Musiambo, the Chair, Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Madam Flora Mutahi, the representative of the PS Trade, Mr. Onyancha, the CEO, Anti-Counterfeit Agency, and your team, Mr. Arake, the CEO, Export Processing Zone, Mr. Obina, and your team, members from the ministry, the members of the fourth estate. Allow me first to convey the apologies of the CS, Madam Betty Maina. Actually, she had confirmed that she was to come here up to around 9 p.m. yesterday, but due to changes in the other schedules and other business she was to attend to, she could not make it, and therefore she sent me to come and represent her in this function. One thing is that we take this business or this activity of the multi-agency very seriously, because our Ministry of Industrialization can be killed, or our industrialists can be killed by these counterfeiters. The only problem I have is that you use a very complicated words about counterfeit, people who counterfeit. Because these are thieves, you should be using a very simple name to describe what they are. Counterfeiters are thieves. They steal intellectual property. Sasa ukisema counterfeiters, mtu ajui hawa unaongea kuhusu wezi wale wa kawaida. And in our traditional society, what used to do, hawa walikuwa wanafanya nini? Wanachomwa. Sasa ile kitu hawa counterfeiters they are advanced, hatuwapati. Sasa ile kitu tunachoma ni product zao. But ordinarily, those are the people we should be banning. But since we should be wrenching. But since as the Deputy Head of Public Service has said, we are law-abiding citizens. Since they have disappeared, what they have left, we have to work on it. We have to destroy it and ensure that we kill that business, because that is a business we are not going to entertain in our country. Because if we are not careful, we are going to kill our industrialists. We are going to groom terrorists. We are going to kill our people through counterfeit. And many of you know what has happened when people consume this counterfeit. Illness, diseases, substandard buildings, substandard vehicles, etc., etc. Therefore, this is a war we are taking very, very seriously. And Mr. Musiambo, you can be assured, and Madam Flora, that in the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, you have a partner who is not wavering. He will be behind you, and even if you want him to be ahead of you, us as a ministry, we will lead the fight against illicit goods. Since I have said I was sent by Madam Betty Maina, actually she had even prepared her speech. Therefore, I think the best service I can do is to read her speech, because she was ready with her speech. I'm sure she would not have read it, but she would have gone through it. But now since I don't know what she wanted to say, allow me to read her speech. Allow me, on behalf of the Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development, and all agencies from the ministry, to appreciate the Deputy Head of Public Service and Coordinator of the Multi-Agency Enforcement Team Against Counterfeit and Illicit Trade, Mr. Wanyama Musiambo, for the work you have done in the fight against the illicit trade. Special appreciation, again, to the private sector representatives, led by Kenya Association of Manufacturers, I saw a representative, and other owners of intellectual properties who are present and who are suffering because of this counterfeiting and illicit trade. We appreciate your continued collaboration and support to government agencies in the war against counterfeit and illicit trade. If we give you the figures about the figures, the economical figures on counterfeits, you'll be shocked. Counterfeiting and illicit trade affect every individual, both in public and private sector all over the world. It's a global concern that seeing governments across the world taking it high up in their policy agenda. Allow us to shed some underlying statistics in counterfeiting and illicit trade that have called for stronger enforcement. Available statistics show that illicit trade has increased 7 times faster than legal trade since 1990. It was well over $12 trillion in 2014. This represents 15 to 20% of the global GDP. The Business Action to Stop Counterfeiting and Piracy estimated that in 2018, the global economic value of counterfeit and pirated goods was $923 billion to $1.13 trillion in 2013. It was projected to increase to $1.9 to $2.8 trillion by 2022. In the East African Community region, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development estimated that in 2008, East African community lost over $500 million in tax revenue due to counterfeiting. In Kenya, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, with funding and technical support of the Trademark East Africa, is finalizing a nationwide baseline survey on illicit trade, which we are informed that it will be launched next week on 10th of June 2020 during the World Anti-Counterfeit Day. Let me show the effect of illicit trade. First, genuine economic activities like our manufacturers and trade commerce loses out to counterfeiting through sales, market shares, competitiveness, and blood loyalty. You know very well you cannot compete in terms of market with the counterfeiters because they have not invested, one, in intellectual property. Their goods are substandard. They have not paid tax. Therefore, it is very easy for them to edge out genuine business persons and manufacturers. Secondly, the government loses tax revenue for provision of public goods like road, healthcare, security, etc., etc. As you have said, in 2008, we lost USD 500 million in terms of revenue, which was supposed to come to Kenya and provide services. There is also potential investment losses as a result of counterfeiting because country loses its potential to attract and develop innovation. People will not come here and develop new products or be innovative because you know very well, as soon as you start doing your cables like the ones we have there, the counterfeiter will come and do theirs at a cheaper price. Therefore, you lose people who would come here, create, invest, and create economic opportunity, and also assist us to achieve the Big Four agenda, especially the one on manufacturing. As I had said, the polycriminality of illicit trade, we have pointed out that most of the people in illicit trade, they are the people who sponsor and fund criminal gangs and terror groups, people who participate in human trafficking, etc. And then finally, as you know, the serious health factor. When you are given a fake sanitizer and you expect that you have sanitized your hands, when you are taking fake drugs, when you are taking sugar which you don't know where it came from and what are the contents, you can imagine the challenge and the risk you expose people. And that is why I said, because of such things, these people, these are killers, these are murderers. You know, it's a combination of a thief and a murderer. You thief, you steal from people, and you still kill them by giving them poisonous and dangerous product. The efforts the government is putting, it's therefore important that tough measures and decisions must be taken to fight this. We are confident that our efforts through the National Action Plan Against Counterfeiting and Illicit, we must accelerate our collaboration effort in enforcement and creating public awareness and move fast towards its implementation. Its implementation must be strategic priority by all government agencies involved, since it is the only way towards realizing Vision 2030 as well as the Big Four agenda. We can't get universal health care, we can't get food security, we can't get affordable housing, and we can't grow the manufacturing sector by 2015 if we allow counterfeit and illicit trade to prevail in our country. Everyone, and this is our call, everyone has a stake in this war. It is not just the government. It is all of us, the county government, the manufacturers, the entrepreneurs, shipping industry, blood owners, and their agency. We need to work together to stop the manufacturing, packaging, selling, shipping, buying, and distribution of the counterfeit good. Therefore, our call is on each and every one of us, not just the multi-agency headed by Mr. Wanyama Musiambo. It is a call to each and every responsible Kenyan to come and support us so that we can finish this illicit, which is a menace to our country. And once we are done with that illicit trade, I can assure you we shall flourish, we shall develop, and we shall achieve our agenda, especially as a ministry on manufacturing, because the local manufacturers will be protected and they'll have a genuine market for their genuine products. And they will not be competing with thieves or murderers. They will be competing with other genuine business people. With those remarks, I want to welcome you to this destruction event and work towards declaring Kenya a counterfeit-free country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, our guest of honor. Let's appreciate the guest of honor once again and all the speakers. Please, let's put our hands together. Thank you very much. So this is the moment that we'll get to see and to put the counterfeit goods ourselves into the incinerator. And I want to request that the row that was sitting with the chief guest will go in first. We'll go in faces in the spirit of social distancing. And if you're not wearing a mask like the one I am wearing, please don't go into the beyond the door. And again, you need a helmet, not the cape, but the helmet. So, sir, I request that you go, adorn yourselves in the right attire. I think you might need to shed off the, I don't know whether you'll be able to wear comfortably. You might need to shed that off. So you'll put on a jacket. You'll put on the helmet. And again, we request that you change the mask. The other guests who are with the AD, you'll be led by Dr. Akoten. You will come in as the second group. For now, we go in the first group, the AD leading the chief guest, Mr. Musiambo. And once we are fully adorned, I think it's only fair that we get to actually see that we are all dressed properly. So we'll take a group photo. We will take a group photo. And you can be sure what you're wearing has been sanitized properly. The coats have been jigged out. There is a bin where you can put your previous mask. So we'll go in 5 people at a time. And kindly for the media, the fourth estate, we may not fit all of us. We will make sure that you can all see. We will make sure that you can all see. If you are not in a helmet, the 95 mask and the jacket. Go and help the chair. Umshikie helmet ndio aweze kuva. Just so that we are able to go in an orderly and also following social distancing. The chief guest, kindly, I will request once you're dressed with your team of 5, we will take a photo and then we go inside. We will take a photo and then we shall go inside. Then the second group will wait for you. Acting ED Epz-A, please join that photo. Please join the photo. So that is the lead team today that is leading us in the destruction of goods worth a whole 27 million Kenya shillings. Assorted goods ranging from body care items, electricals, mobile phones, agrochemical products, foods, name it. We have it today. So thank you very much. I will request, outside you saw samples. It's just good that you satisfy your eyes that all the 27 million worth of goods is with us, and I'll ask Mr. Adera, I don't know where you are, Mr. Adera, please, just to show that the goods are out there, and then we will be led in picking the things. I think we move to the other side so that we give the media an opportunity. Please, let's go to the other side, please. Yes, so that the media can see what you're doing. Give us the opportunity to see what you're doing. Thank you so much. And behind you, the goods are lined up. I am seeing like the deputy head public service is threatening somebody. Okay, so we will be led by our chief guest. I don't know what you have in your hands, chief guest. Yes, I can see something HP. Thank you. Wow, there he has taken lead. Thank you so much, Bona CAS. Pencils, electricals, Bona guest of honor, you're being requested humbly. They're saying they saw your back. They need to see your face when you're throwing. Kindly. So Mr. Musiambu there, our coordinator for the multi-agency, and yes, quite a bit of bottles of assorted alcohol. Thank you, Bona Chief Guest. There it is. Thank you so much, leading by example. Thank you, our coordinator for multi-agency enforcement. Madam Chair, thank you so much. Away with counterfeits, away with illicit trade, sorry. Toothpaste, thank you. Pencils, thank you. That is Havelis. I can see D is there with lots of them. Thank you so much, Bonaidi. Heavy commercial filters, thank you so much. And another one, and we have many of them. And that is, you can imagine, that is for, those are pesticides. Pencils for our kids. Sorry, we'll pick them up. It is quite hot as you get nearer the furnace, so it's good to be careful. And representing the PS, Mr. Onyancha, also just behind the chair. Thank you, Chair. We have lots and lots of assortment of goods. Again, vehicle spare parts. Thank you, Deputy Head Public Service. Please, when you're throwing, make sure the people out here can see what you're putting into the furnace. What do you want to see? Oh, and the other side. It is hot. And representing the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, we want to see you throw. We haven't seen you do that. Madam Chair, yes, with computer accessories. Thank you so much. That's quite an area where counterfeiters have specialized. Thank you, coordinator multi-agency, the ED there, lots and lots of computer accessories, and lots of toothpaste, bathing soap, and even the sound can tell you that something is happening here. Lots and lots of blasts inside the incinerator. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate our guests this afternoon. Thank you so much. And the journey continues as we rid our country of illicit goods, counterfeit goods. Thank you so much. And now just making sure that all the goods that we talked about, the whole lot, 27 million worth, is actually all in here. All of it in here as we strive also to maintain the social distance. And we can have the next team coming in representing the various other agencies. The IPR owners, Havelis, I don't know where you are and whether you are appropriately dressed. You can come in and get to lead in incinerating your goods, the counterfeits of your goods. Daktari and the rest of the team, if somebody wants to come and throw it, I can see one who is completely ready for it. Just the helmet. Please don't come in without the helmet, without the mask, and without the necessary jacket. Our children and many people getting lost through counterfeit, illicit alcohol. We have lots and lots of them this afternoon. Thank you so much. And now, as we finish, Chief Guest, I'm sure for the state, members of For the State, the media would like to get some interview with you. Our guests, Mr. Musiambu, please. So kindly accord them the opportunity to speak to you. Do not forget to leave behind your helmet and the mask you can take away with, but the helmet, the coat, kindly do not forget to leave it behind. Thank you so much.
Let's start with the guest. Yeah.
So? Okay. I start. Yes, sir? Okay. You can ask. Yes. Yes.
So how many cases have gone through, like you received judgment and have been prosecuted completely, and how many are still pending, and what are some of the penalties that they are facing?
Yes, when the chair can
when she speaks.
Okay, so today what you are doing, I can just give you an overview. You know, since 2018, we have been having a multi-agency team on illicit trade, and they have been out there to seize counterfeits which have found their way into our country. Most of them imported, and others, of course, locally manufactured. And what we are saying is that those illicit goods, they are killing our local manufacturers, because these are people who have not invested in anything, in marketing, in research, etc. All what they are coming is to take advantage of a brand. Secondly, they are bringing substandard goods, and those substandard goods are putting our people at risk because they are not certified. We don't know the nature and their quality. Therefore, they can be a big cause of health hazard. Lastly, some of those counterfeiters, they are the one who are funding criminal gangs in our country, be they terrorists, be they other people who are participating in organized crimes. Therefore, that is the reason we have said we must work hard to ensure that we have destroyed. The goods so far seized since 2018, they are worth over 2 billion. Today here we was destroying goods worth 27 million. We are going on, we'll be going to Eldoret to destroy more. Then we'll go to Mombasa and destroy more. Because once we seize these goods, all what you have to do, we must destroy them to ensure that they are not there in the field. That is exactly basically what we are here for today.
Just one more question. I had two questions. What measures have you put in place to protect Kenyans, especially in COVID-related cases? We've seen sanitizers that are being displayed over there, masks, and even consumables, Colgate. So if my mother in the village or your grandmother or, someone's out there, our parents, how will they know that this is counterfeit and this is not counterfeit?
What we have done, one of the things is we are doing sensitization. We are sensitizing people so that they are able to identify and inform us when they those counterfeits. But more to it, where we are trying to get it is the source. That is the only way we can stop it, at the source, either at the points of entry, if they are the imported, or at the point of distribution where they are mass. But also, we need support of each and every Kenyan. But we are sensitizing them so that we can tell them, if you find a genuine Colgate, it looks like this, and that is one of the work the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, and I'm sure the director will be able to explain that.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So thank you for gracing this occasion. Like we mentioned, what we are trying to do, what we were doing today is actually destroying goods that have been seized over time. And this is a long war. If I could give you an example, one of the things we burnt just now is drinks made, a counterfeiter for UDV, I think it's East African Breweries. Is it? Anyway, there was some counterfeiting going on. This was seized in 2012. It went to court and we got our judgment in 2018, and this is the time now that we're banning. So it's a long war. It's not a walk in the park. But if I could talk to your last question when you asked our CAS, what approach do we do to make sure Kenya is counterfeit? We have basically a 3-point approach. One is just like he said, border points. If we could seal the border points, 70% of counterfeit goods are imported. So if we could seal it there, that is the easiest and best way to do that. So that's what we aim to do. The second one is we have, surveillance. We have our team going round, and this is majority of what has been found here is from those kind of surveillance. And the third one, of course, like you had, is public awareness.
Is the surveillance team only looking at what is already in the market, or are they also at the ports and at the
Well, as you would know, from June last year, ACA physically left the port, but through our collaborative agencies who are we are trying. But again, in the land borders, we are very strong there, and we do find a lot, and the air, we do find a lot of goods.
Okay, and what measures is the Kenyan government making, or are there collaborations between other countries? Because you said some of these goods are imported. Are there collaborations between Kenya and other countries to ensure that they also curb the coming of the communities into the country, as well as the way we are trying to fight it here?
I would imagine traders are traders. So, but definitely there is no government that would actually be proud to say my exports that have gone to Africa or to Kenya are counterfeit goods. So there are discussions, yes, we do have. I'm not aware of anything formally documented, but there's no country in the world that would actually promote it.
Okay, and what measures are you putting in place to recall the products that are already in the market that are counterfeit?
That's why we have a surveillance team, and what they do is when they seize the goods from you, I think there's a question you asked about what are the measures. Whatever goods we find with you, we give you first-time offenders. I think you pay 3 times the value, 2 times the value. Second-time offenders, 5 times the value. So that is what we normally do when we seize the goods. But of course, you'd understand a counterfeiter, like the CAS said, is a thief. So when he goes to market, he will not display his whole container. He will display several goods, so that today if you see that, his fine is lower and he's able to trade. So that is why it is important for us to actually curb it at the points of entry, completely at Mombasa and everywhere else, because like I said, 70% of counterfeit goods come in. And what does this do? It's threatening our manufacturing agenda, because you've seen, you saw electrical equipment, we saw phones being counterfeited. Assume one of these companies were considering coming to manufacture for East Africa. We now know Kenya is definitely an attractive hub right now. But if they feel that counterfeit is not being taken seriously, they don't feel their market is being protected. And that is what makes our job so important, to actually make sure that we have a counterfeit-free Kenya to promote not only the local industries, who are the most important to us, but also the ones who could come and actually produce their product here for the rest of Africa.
What charges do counterfeit people face in court? Because there are many counterfeit products in the market. Speaking of electronics, phones.
It's 3 times the value of the goods that they are found with. So if you're found with goods worth $1 million, you'll be charged $3 million. So that is why also seizing it at point of entry, where before you break down the product, distribute the product, is of most importance, so that you can get the biggest bulk. So our continued effort and our way forward right now is really to actually strengthen goods not to come in, so that we make sure we're able to have a counterfeit-free Kenya.
Yeah. Just one more, sorry for dodging it, lots of questions. What is the status report? This year you'll be celebrating 10 years.
Yes.
So in the past 5 years, has the value of counterfeit products increased or not increased? Like what's the status report of goods that have been destroyed? Can we get that report so that...
Okay, first let me begin with the cases that we've prosecuted. It's about 360 cases that have been convicted, and we've won the case.
Over what period?
I think it's over our period of 10 years. ACA is quite a young agency, it's only 10 years old. 109 are currently in court as we speak. So we are still waiting on judgment of those. And can you hear the example I gave you from 2012? We got the judgment we went to court in 2018. So also the judiciary and speed of moving these cases would be of help to us. Because remember, these are goods of worth high value. Today is 27 million. We have 100 million sitting at the port. We have caught 3 billion in total over time. So definitely, it's important to also not keep these goods in storage. Because again, in storage, we know, inapata miguu. So we've also had to strengthen our stores management, and through the assistance of Timea, we've actually digitized that as well. So, we are safer now. But our appeal, of course, is to move these cases quickly and destroy. And what Bwana Musiambo said about when they seize sugar out there, they will immediately destroy. This will actually make it more and more difficult for the counterfeiters or illicit people.
Mm-hmm. I have something, sorry, for Bwana Halake. The SCA
Yes.
mentioned that while we were walking over there,
Yes.
they said that at the border, when goods are being shipped in,
Yes.
sometimes, when cabs are doing when they're going through stuff,
Yes.
they might let some goods get in because as much as they're counterfeit,
They meet the standard, yes.
So what does that mean exactly?
Okay, so this is what it means, that goods can be substandard. Okay, let me say that most of counterfeit goods, more often than not, are substandard. But there are counterfeit goods which meets the standard. So from KEP's point of view, and in terms of their mandate, what they are looking out for is whether the goods which are coming into the country meet the standard. However, KEPS also enjoys, KEPS, KRA, the National Police Service, and a few other government agencies enjoy an extended power because we've designated KEPS inspectors as anti-counterfeit inspectors. So with the right knowledge, and when I'm talking about the knowledge, is the knowledge to be able to identify what is counterfeit and what is not. And you can see how complex it can get. So the law empowers a KEPS officer, a KRA customs officer, a member of the National Police Service, and a staff of Inspector of Pharmacy and Poison Board to exercise the powers of an inspector of ACA. And therefore, what we are saying is that for us to effectively work within the multi-agency arrangement, we need to ensure that these agencies, where we have delegated powers in terms of dealing with matters of anti-counterfeit, have the right knowledge through the knowledge-based training from the IPR owners to be able to differentiate what is counterfeit and what is not. That is what we meant.
So what does that mean for the local businessman in Kenya? Because it is not fair to them, according to anti-counterfeit. It's kind of sabotaging their businesses. As much as the goods are on standard, but they are counterfeit.
They are counterfeit, yes. And this is what we are saying, that we will not allow an opportunity for counterfeiter, whether the goods meet the standard or not, to be allowed into our market. That is what essentially we are saying. And this is the reason then, the basis for why we are working through the multi-agency approach, all government approach in dealing with the broad spectrum of illicit goods. Thank you very much.
Members of the press, fourth estate, good afternoon once more. I'll be very brief. I'll not go into the technical part of it. I think Bwana Halake handles it better and other officers. I just wanted to bring it out very clearly that this is a whole government approach. When we talk of multi-agency, somebody may ask, what is this multi-agency? Basically, these are government departments or government agencies that have been brought together under one umbrella to be able to fight ills that are in society. And the whole idea is we wanted to promote manufacturing. We all know the big four. We're talking of manufacturing, we are talking of affordable housing, we are talking of healthcare, we are talking of food and nutritional security. Those are the four pillars. And in all that we are doing here, the goods you have seen, you will see something that is affecting manufacturing, you will see something that is affecting health, that is in the counterfeit. You saw the drugs we were showing here and the fake whatever masks. You will see something that is affecting food and nutritional security. You will see something that affects housing when we have substandard, cables and whatever and whatever. So all those agencies that are key, we have KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority. Kenya Revenue Authority may not necessarily deal with what is counterfeit or substandard, but are people paying taxes in this country? So it is bigger than just, we are not just looking at, we are banning things and we go away. It is also, are people paying taxes? There are those who may be doing a genuine business. I mean, the items are genuine, they are not bad, but they are evading tax. So then how does government fund its programs? So we have KERE, we have Kenya Bureau of Standards to know our standards. We have now the Anti-Counterfeit Authority that we are here today because of that. Then we have the weights and the measures. My brother Nani was here, Onyanja is here. Weights and measures. People are also conned through that. Then we have NEMA. We are doing things and then we are polluting the environment, endangering Kenyans. Then we have NACADA. Then we have the Farmers and the Poisons Board to be able to look at this. We have public health. And then we have the police. We have the DCI as a member of this team. We have the uniformed police, as I said. Why are we having all these fellows? We are having all of us so that, because each one of these departments we have mentioned, they are created by an act. How did the SCA come into operation? There is an act that created it. KEPS, Kenya Bureau of Standards, Kenya Revenue Authority, each one of them operate under mandate. So when they all come together, President, His Excellency the President, directed that now this team, these agencies, work in a multi-agency setting so that when we sit and do what we do, like this one, we avoid what we call silos. Every department going into its own cocoon and saying, kwangu, kwetu, the act, we cannot do. We are all there. So we say, okay, this is what we have got. DCI, pick from here what is yours. The DCI picks what is this. KRA looks at the tax issues and whatever, picks what is this. Kenya Bureau of Standards looks at what it is, picks what is there. Anti-Counterfeit, namna all of them. Poisons Board, NEMA, we are dealing with across the board. So it is a whole government approach. And that's why I said, I will not go into the technicalities because sometimes also as Kenyans, Kenyans will ask you, what is the difference between contraband and substandard? What is a counterfeit and what is uncustomed? There are those things. Those are actually the technical jargon, which our brother. But the overall thing that I want to address, or which we are addressing here, all of us, the way we've come here, is what is illicit. We are dealing with what is illegal. And that is why in our speech here, we have said, and we repeat, that anything that is illegal, anything that is illicit is corruption. So we are actually in the whole question of fighting the monster, the menace of corruption in the country. Because somebody is trying to get an undue advantage. If you are selling a mask and it's not genuine, but you make money out of it and it's not genuine, you are actually corrupt. When you bring madawa that are, they are not genuine, they have not been certified, and you give people they take, they are going to create, those madawas will create other problems for them. That's actually corruption. When you evade paying tax, that is corruption. When whatever you do does not meet our standards, that is corruption. So all these agencies, I chair that team. I got the privilege, appointed to it to chair by His Excellency the President. The multi-agency team is basically to deal with what is illegal, what is illicit. And this one, we are not moving out of it. The agencies I've mentioned, and I may not have mentioned all of them, like immigration. Even there are people who want to sneak in, who are not Kenyans. They don't follow the immigration rules. They pass in our neighbors through the Panya route. It is either way, even our people and the people from outside. So it is a whole government approach to ensure that we do the correct thing. That's one. And as we do that, it is not a job that is done haphazardly. You just wake up and you feel happy and you go and collect items in the market and you say you are coming to ban. What we are doing is a meticulous process with our officers, as you've been told, but all this is intelligence-led. We don't just go and jump on things. Carry proper surveillance. We have our surveillance team. Then, when we strike, it is actually intelligence-led. That is why we have never gone and taken anybody's thing that does not have qualm, that does not have question marks. So we don't just wake up and walk in and do things. We have our intelligence machinery that yes, here there could be something. Here we could be smelling something. So the whole government approach and the intelligence led in that manner. And then somebody asked a question. We are doing this. What about our our neighbors? What are they doing? And Madam Flora put it very clearly, and that is the answer. That what we are dealing with, these are individual people who are unscrupulous. Wawe wa Kenya, wawe from a neighboring country. It is not country to country, where we say now, what are the other governments? All governments are actually doing things that are street. And you remember, in this region, we are in the East African Community Protocol. We are members of IGAD, so covering again other countries or in the Horn of Africa. And it's all clear. These things are discussed at those levels and they're very clear. So what we are dealing with, like what we are referring to in the northeastern, you see some sugar coming in, being smuggled, and we say when we get that one, we will destroy instantly. Because it has come from another place. If it has come from another place, where shall we get the witnesses and all these and the litigation? We will be bogged down in what we are doing. We know this is substandard. We know this one, no tax has been paid. We know that this one has come in through Panya route. So we just destroy so that we don't have a lot of stories. But we will get the driver. We will get the driver. Whoever is driving that vehicle, and maybe is whatever turn boy or whatever is called, those ones are arrested and charged appropriately. Being in the country illegally, that is a possible charge. Being in possession of counterfeit, that is another charge. And those are very heavy charges, for example. So basically, that is what we are doing. And we are sending a very clear warning that the Big Four agenda cannot be derailed by unscrupulous, corrupt people who bring in counterfeit things or who are in possession or who trade in them. And that's why we send a clear message here that by banning, and our guest of honor, the CAS, said it very clear, that in the absence of the individuals, because they do these things quietly, tunapata their goods, in the absence of the actual person amejificha kwingine, we get the goods, we ban in public the way we are doing. And remember all these cases we've done, all the bannings we have done, zile tulifanya ya kwanza, ya pili, and all those we are saying we are going in Mombasa to ban goods worth 100 million. We will be in Eldoret banning goods. All those cases, we have finished court process. Again, as we said, we are a law-abiding country. We don't want to ban things like what we have banned here. And somebody emerges and says, unajua mlichoma vitu yangu. All this, we have got orders. We follow the rule of law. We get the orders where nini, then we are very clear that nobody can do that. But basically, the long and the short of it is we are fighting illicit. It can be in any form. It can be uncustomed. It can be substandard. It can be called counterfeit. It can be called contraband. Name it. But we are fighting illicit, what is illegal, what is unwanted, what is harmful to our economy and to our health. That's twin to our economy and to our health. We cannot. So we are telling the people out there that we are on course. The multi-agency team is firmly on course to ensure that Kenyans are protected. Kenyans consume what is agreeable in this country and what is of standard. And you will be seeing us many more times. Of course, like now, we have been slowed down a bit because of COVID, because of the social distancing and those regulations, which we must respect. And we are also telling everybody that let us respect the regulations given by the Minister of Health to ensure that hii shida ya COVID, we bring it down so that we flatten the curve. But going forward, post-COVID, you will see us more and more as we move forward. Panalake, thank you so much.
We have one final message. On on the 10th of June is actually the World Anti-Counterfeit Day. Like we mentioned, counterfeit is a global problem. And the global numbers are in trillions of dollars. So it's something that every single government recognizes. And it's a time for us to sort of stick together, take stock, and actually then start having those collaborative engagements that will reduce counterfeit in each and every country. On the same day, we will be launching our national baseline study, where we have actually done a study in Kenya to actually, we will be releasing the amount of counterfeit that is found in Kenya. And I have had a preview, and I will shock you that those figures will be competing with certain sectors in our own economy. So you're welcome to come and join us on the 10th. And the third thing we'll be celebrating, of course, is our 10 years of ACA. So basically in this month of June and on the 10th particularly, keep an eye out for counterfeiters, anti-counterfeiters.
Great one.